Hello everybody, welcome back to episode 3 of Building on Bedrock. Last episode we built this forest here and that tower right over there. Oh no, I've got to sleep. Okay, I'm really liking how the forest turned out. I think, as far as first ever time building trees, it went pretty good. For today's episode though, we're going to take a completely different route. This time around, we're going to skip out on building trees and we are going to work on this right here. We are going to be building a massive cave cave system. Oh my goodness. We are going to be building a massive cave system starting right here, and it's going to go all the way around this river. Right to that ending point right over there. So this little hill we're on here is going to stretch out over the cave almost all the way to that hill there, and underneath it will be this really cool underwater river cave type thing. I don't know if that really explains it, but you guys will see. Thanks to the cactus farm last episode, we were able to collect a lot of stone that we will use on this cave system. So luckily we have most of the materials already and I'm ready to get to work. So without further ado, here we go. Quick little progress update here. I just finished gathering up some more stone as we completely ran out. But we have been kind of busy. We're gonna add a bit of moss overhang on top. I think that'll look really, really cool. But if we look down the cave, we have gotten quite a bit of progress done. Not a crazy amount, but just enough to make me kind of feel good about it. Kind of going with this wave gradient, like as if water had been up here rising up the wall of the cave. I think it looks really, really cool, and I think it'll look even better once the walls are fully done, because this is how dark it's gonna be. So whether it really looks good or not doesn't really matter, but it's still gonna look good either way. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I have a cool idea for what we're gonna do once we get to this point, but for now I'm just gonna keep building. So also, guys, I'm on my way to get some more materials, and I forgot to show I added a door to the tower. Alright guys, I just finished up building the outline for something that I think will be pretty cool. You kind of start to see the makings of it here. I don't know exactly how I'm going to go about this, but I think this is a good start. You can kind of tell we have this island in the middle, and I think we're going to have like a cool weeping willow type tree right in the middle of it. And then this hole in the cave where sunlight will be able to shine through right onto the tree. I think this will be super awesome. You can see the rest of the cave back there. It's super dark. Really not easy to see all the detail, and then so to have this bright spot in the center of this large room of the cave, I think it's going to be super cool, shining right onto the tree. That's the plan for right now. You can kind of see the makings of what it's going to be. I don't know how accurate this is compared to what the final product will look like, but this is what we got so far, and I'm really excited to keep going. Alright guys, so there we go. Now we have the main shape of the cave done. As you can see, it is very dark right now, except for the light shining in on the island. I think that looks really good. But that's just the main shape done, like I said. It's just kind of a gray blob, which I mean, fair. It is a cave. But I think we can come back in with our walls and our slabs and our stairs and really just round it off a little bit more. I think that'll make it look really, really, really nice. As well as come back through and add some more color. So right now we have just a lot of just the stone up top. I think we can add some more andesite up top, as well as some more dark colors. This cave is kind of tricky right now because obviously we're now looking at the outside of the cave here, which we'll never be able to see once this is all covered with grass. And then here we're looking at the cliff face, which we will always see. So we kind of have to find a way to blend what we will see into hiding what we won't ever see. So we need to do that as well, but for now I'm going to work on the coloring as well as coming in with some of the finer details as far as shape wise, kind of like what we got going on here. So let's go ahead and let's get started on that right now. Alright guys, the cave is mostly done. As you can see, we have some grass going in. That is the beginnings of a hill that will go over our cave. But we have the interior shaping completely done. So we got the shaping done, but we need a lot of details in here to really make this place come to life. And the first detail we are going to start with is the floor. The floor right now is really uneven. And I'm thinking of doing a really cool gradient of sand and then to birch all the way to dark oak. I think that'll be really, really cool. So it's been just a few in Minecraft days, but you can see I started work on this ocean floor. It's not anything crazy, but I do think it'll look pretty cool. It's just nice and clean. It's not too busy. I like how it subtly gets darker towards the bottom. The only area where we have any plant life is where the sun will come through right here. So you can kind of see how we're working with that here. We got, you know, a lot of shrubbery on top. There'll be a tree up here eventually, and then all this life on the not ocean but lake floor. So we're gonna finish this floor real quick. I know I kind of got carried away and just started working on it without recording, but we still got this little bit left to do, so let's go ahead and do that. That is the floor of the cave completely done. I still have my night vision on just a little bit so we can still see around. Without it, it gets pretty dark. I think it looks pretty good. I don't think it's anything crazy, like I said earlier, but I think it's nice and clean. I think if we get some plant life towards the edge opening of the cave where, you know, some light would shine through, I think that'll look really cool. But as far as the floor goes, I think we're pretty much done. I also started working on the moss out here. This is still a work in progress, but you can kind of see it's a little bit more polished out front. Once we get the moss going, then we'll be able to, you know, finish the top and make the hill roll over and go out that way. Speaking of out that way, you guys might see this abomination over here.
What the hell?
This grass up top is where how I envision this hill rolling down. So like this will be ground level, but right here, the reason why so many days passed is because I needed a better way to get some moss. So I made this moss farm. It is a moss farm by OMLedu. I think I'm saying that name right. It works amazing. I don't know too much about this guy's channel, but it seems like he makes a lot of cool bedrock farm. You can see it pouring in now. It has a bone meal setting. You can just gather up bone meal, and then once this is full, it comes in here and just crafts bone blocks. So if you guys are interested in any of that, go check out his channel, OMLedu. But yeah, guys, this is the moss farm. It gets me a lot of it. All right, so now I'm ready to work on the moss above the cave. I think this is going to help bring everything together. Right now, it just kind of looks like a bunch of separate builds, but once we cover up all this grossness, it'll look really, really good. So let's go ahead and let's just get started. Alright guys, quick little progress update. I have been busy. I never want to see a grass block ever again after this. That probably won't happen, but this is where we're at so far. We've got this much more to go, and then we just got to bring the rest over to the edge of the mountain. So there's the moss farm there. There's the cave. We also built in this wall, this rock, these vines, and this wall over here finally goes all the way to the edge over here. So we've been pretty busy. We finally got what I feel like this project is starting to come together. The cave is directly below us, and I feel like these hills up here flow pretty naturally. So I'm going to finish this up, and I'll see you guys when I'm done. Whatever you do, do not go under the hills. Alright guys, so that was painless. No, but in all seriousness, now we can start work on the cave again. And this hill portion we can leave for next episode. I have a couple cool ideas with that. Oh. That was sick. Anyways, now we can focus on bringing this cave and making it feel alive. And by doing that, I mean just adding more details. We already started with these vines. That was nothing. That wasn't, that didn't take any time at all. But we're going to go around the cave walls. We're going to add mushrooms, maybe some stalactites from the ceiling. I think that's the right word. Just little things like that as we're going through the cave will just make it seem really cool. Things that catch your eye, that kind of stuff. We probably should also trim back on the vines as well. Yeah, that's a bit much. We might need to use the cobwebs. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, guys, let's get to work. This looks good, but I don't think it's quite what I'm going for. Okay, we are finally done, I think. We have been super busy, so busy, in fact, I wrote down everything that I have done. And for starters, we put in the top to the tower. I know, kind of like a little base away from base, I guess. We even got a little parkour system. We can jump up. And, I don't know, it's a fun way to get up here. And if we are feeling tired and we don't want to do the parkour, there's always these vines. So, that is the first thing. And the second thing, I guess the very obvious thing, is we put in a lot of trees. We got trees here, and pretty much everywhere. We even got trees as far out as right over there. You can also notice the flowers and maybe the muddy little beach there. I started to change up how I did the flowers. You can kind of see they're in blotches now, and they're kind of going by colors. So we got purple and red over there, which I think looks nice. Reds together, more purple but with blue this time, and you can kind of just see they're in blotches around, and I think it looks really, really good. So yeah, we got a lot of, you know, thick building in this area, and then places where we haven't been as much, like over here and out this way, where we will continue in the next episode, are a little more bare, I guess. Okay, now if we head down, the house is just over there across the red bridge, but if we come over here, I put in this statue. I don't really know what the point of it is. I kind of want it to seem like it's from a time long ago, kind of like the tower. And then whoever lives in the hut over here is a rather colorful person and decided to put in banners everywhere. And I think this looks really cool. I'm not sure about the banners, but I do think they add some nice color. And I kind of appreciate that. So I think that's really cool. You can kind of see we have paths that aren't too obvious reaching out from both the right and the left from the statue. I wanted these to be not so obvious, and then the main one going up the hill to be very clear. So if we head down this way, we can see we have our portal, and then we have again some ruins, maybe from a time long ago. And then we have these trees, and they're gray. I wanted to make it seem like whatever is seeping out of the portal is affecting the natural world over here. So the trees kind of, they're still alive, but they look different. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. If we head inside the portal, we have all of this space. Sorry, the portal noise is very loud. We have all of this space. If we head over this way, we can see we have a lot of space, and I think maybe next episode or maybe the episode after, we work on this, and maybe this is where our base will be, because it goes out all the way over that way and under here as well. So we got a lot of hollow ground to fill, and I think that can be really cool. We can fill it in a really cool way. That would make this place pretty awesome. Okay, now for the cave itself. This is going to be the main entrance, but I say we take a look, shall we? Okay, we can see we have all sorts of cool stuff going on. We got sandy little beaches. We've got some areas with a little bit of growth, which I think looks really good. And we have another bridge. I wanted this bridge to seem very old, very rickety, kind of holding on by a thread. But once again, our colorful lady, I don't know why I think she's a lady, came in and added her banners. And I think this adds a nice pop of color to an otherwise very dark, very gray area. We also have these mushrooms. Sorry, the water noises are just so loud. We also have these mushrooms with their white stems painted around. We have another little muddy area. And here we go. The piece de resistance is the island. We can't see the effect quite as well right now because we drank the night vision potion, but this is the one area of light in all of this darkness, and this I think turned out really, really awesome. We added in this dock right here. Nothing too crazy, but I think it adds. Again, the flowers splotched around, and then this willow tree sort of looking thing right here. I think this looks really nice. I don't want to pat myself on the back too much, but I do think this looks good. I think it stands out just enough. You know, there's a lot of this green color going on, but I think this works. So yeah, guys, this is the cave. This took me, oh man, this world, I think I have 7 real life days in it so far. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, but I am pretty proud of this. One thing this series has taught me is to just really slow down in the building process, you know, coming around and adding little details that don't seem like they would do a lot, but they really do. They add to the build in a big way, and I've had a lot of fun doing stuff like that. You know, these trees everywhere, oh my gosh, I hate building trees. I've built so many, and as I've said before, there is no light Matica. I don't have 3 trees already pre-built and I just choose one of the 3 options and splotch them around. No, all of these trees, they're different, and every single one is built, well, obviously by hand, and it takes a while. But with that, I am confident to say the cave build is finally done. Please ignore the green particles protruding out of my body. But the cave build is finally done, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next one as we head out. Oh, that way. Alright, see you guys later. Peace!